coronavirus issues from across the country, and military onslaught against Boko Haram. For these and more on Panorama, I'm Ian Ray John. Many thanks for joining us. New cases of COVID-19 have been reported in Nigeria. The latest figures are 70 cases in Lagos, 7 in FCT, 3 in Katsina, 3 in Akwa Ibom, 1 each in Jigawa, Bauchi and Borno State as at 11:50 p.m. 19th April. There are 627 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Nigeria. Meanwhile, 170 have been discharged, and so far 21 people have died of the virus in Nigeria. Governor Muhammad Badar Abubakar has ordered for the lockdown of Kazari local government area in the state following a first COVID-19 case recorded in the area. The governor made this known while briefing journalists on the development at the government house, Dutse.
Also of the samples collected a few days ago by the National Center for Disease Control. The governor has called on the citizens not to panic as government is doing everything possible to ensure that the virus is contained from spreading further to the rest of the community as contact tracing has since commenced. The lockdown is set to commence at 12 midnight on Sunday.
One of the samples taken from Kazaura local government returned positive. The patient is being transported to our isolation center in Duse, and contact tracing is currently going on. All the contacts will be isolated pending the outcome of the test result to be carried out. And I urge all citizens of the state to remain calm as we work collectively to overcome this pandemic.
Meanwhile, the governor has condoled President Muhammadu Buhari over the demise of his chief of staff, late Mala Abba Kyari. While praying for the repose of his soul, he prayed God to grant the family and the nation in general fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
The Director General of Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazu, and the World Health Organization team are in Delta State to ascertain the level of response of the state towards the fight against COVID-19 and further synergize with the state government on possible ways of achieving more progress. Helen Dunku reports.
The Director General of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazu, and the World Health Organization team visited the isolation centers in the state capital, one at the Federal Medical Center and the other at Asaba Specialist Hospital. The NCDC boss expressed satisfaction with the level of preparedness and the management of already confirmed cases in the state.
Almost every country in the world now has at least one confirmed case of COVID-19. So we have to work on the same assumption in Nigeria. Our role is to encourage, support every state in preparing. The success of NCDC together with WHO is, are we serving the states optimally? Until we demonstrate that we can do that, we won't succeed.
NCDC has a very clear guideline in place, a clear strategy for ramping up testing. And as WHO, we are here to support NCDC to ensure that what is recommended globally, we contextualize it to the country level.
He said it behoves on the NCDC to make sure all the 36 states of the Federation are fully ready to respond to any case of COVID-19 so as to nip the scourge in the bud should there be any unprecedented outbreak as predicted by the World Health Organization. In Asaba, Helen Dunku, NTA News.
Let's now go to Lagos for an update on COVID-19 with Nusa Usula.
The commissioner, while urging residents to adhere to protective measures, said the state government has recorded 306 cases, 93 recovery and discharge cases, and 14 deaths so far. He added that highest active cases were recorded in Lagos mainland, Ikeja and Etiosa, with no recorded cases in Ajuromi, Ifelodun, Ekpe and Ojo.
We've embarked upon increased testing. Right now, each of our testing facilities can test up to 200 in a shift, which gives us a total testing capacity of about 600 per center. And of our 2 active testing centers, that gives us a total of 1,000 tests per day.
Professor Abayomi disclosed that to strengthen the fight against the disease in the state, government will in the coming weeks open 4 new isolation centers across the state. He explained that the facilities are the 70-bed space facility in Landmark, Etiosa, 160-bed space facility in Bagada, a new isolation tent of 150 bed spaces, and the permanent isolation facility with 300 bed spaces, both in Yaba. The health commissioner again appealed to Nigerians to obey the social distancing order and observe personal hygiene to curb the spread of the virus. In Lagos, Nusa Usula, NTA News.
And in Akwa Ibom State, the COVID-19 team is embarking on aggressive testing prior to considering whether the domestic economy would be reopened after the 1-week lockdown extension. In a statement by the State Commissioner for Information, Charles Udo, the COVID-19 team appeals to all residents to cooperate and offer themselves for testing, even if they are yet to display symptoms. The whole idea is to make sure everybody is safe, considering that safety is paramount to the Akwa Ibom State government. Residents are enjoined to continue to observe stipulated personal and respiratory hygiene guidelines and practice social distancing. And more than 500 travelers have been placed under 14 days isolation in Yobe and Borno States, a decision taken by the 2 states to ascertain their health status following flagrant violation of boundary lockdown order by the neighboring states. This was one of the decisions at a meeting held at a boundary town by the 2 states committees on COVID-19 prevention and control to strengthen the enforcement order against violators in a bid to avert interstate transmission of coronavirus. Correspondent Yunusa Suleiman reports.
These buses are full of children, men and women who traveled from other parts of the country but were denied entry into Borno State after flouting the lockdown order in Yobe State, with some of them denying having knowledge of the lockdown directives in the 2 states.
When I came, I see what is going on because I don't know. If I know, I cannot come here. Because we were suffering since yesterday, we were sleeping outside.
At yesterday, we come from Lagos inside our car, lorry. Then, when we reach that gate of Maiduguri, the gate that we entered Maiduguri, the people that used to care of people, they just say that we're not going to enter.
The meeting between the 2 COVID-19 committees was born out of the desire to brainstorm and discuss on how best to prevent incessant interstate movement of people amid the lockdown order, which is still in force. The effort by the 2 neighboring states is to nip in the bud any chance of importing coronavirus into their states, despite having 0 COVID-19 status. After intensive deliberations, the 2 committees resolved to isolate the indigents of their respective states for 14 days with a view to ascertaining their health status. The COVID-19 committees also agreed that henceforth no movement of people will be allowed in and out of the 2 states, and warned motorists and passengers on non-essential duties to desist from interstate journey.
But the essence of our meeting is to ensure that people adhere to the lockdown moving in Borno and Yobe State, but that's because already we have been hit by challenges of this Boko Haram. So we don't want another thing to come and add to the already wound that we have been suffering for almost 10 years.
What we did was, we are not trying to punish people, but we just want to send a message to the public that as a government, we want them to abide strictly, or they should oblige all the restrictions that has been put in place.
A special prayer was offered for the repose of the soul of Malam Abakari, Chief of Staff to President Muhammadu Buhari, who died on Friday. Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Joining me live from Maiduguri now is the Borno State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Salihu Kwayubura. Many thanks for joining us.
for having me. Good afternoon.
All right. It's glaring that efforts are geared towards the prevention of the COVID-19 into the state. However, over the weekend, the state recorded its first case of coronavirus infection. Can you tell us more about this index case?
Sadly, like you've noted, over the weekend, Borno State recorded its index case of the coronavirus disease. He was a 56-year-old man who worked with an organization on the fringes of the borders with Cameroon in Bulka town, who was said to have taken ill around that area and was brought into the teaching hospital in Maiduguri, where he was received, and upon presentation of symptoms and review, COVID-19 disease was suspected. Unfortunately, we lost that very individual. However, a sample had already been collected and the results turned out to be positive. The remains of the body has been disposed of, has been buried in accordance with safe practices and protocols for the disposal of infectious bodies. So far, following that, we've also been able to start contact tracing immediately. And as I speak with you, we've already profiled about 97 persons, 35 of whom are in Pulka, a location about 150 kilometers outside Maiduguri from where he is coming, and about 34 health workers from the hospital where he was treated, and then another 35 or so of his family members. So that is totaling about 97 persons. Out of these, we've collected swab samples for those who have had very close contact with him, numbering about 64, and we are waiting the results at the moment. Others we've also asked to quarantine, and efforts are still being geared towards intensifying the contact tracing and also putting up more measures to mitigate against further community transmission of this disease.
All right, so could you tell us what the mood is like now in Maiduguri with this first case, and then, of course, with the contact tracing currently going on?
Well, expectedly, it's a mixed feeling for the people of Maiduguri in particular and Borno State. First, some are really shocked for the fact that despite all the efforts that have been put in place, this case has come out from an unexpected region, particularly around the borders, perhaps tracing back to Cameroon. Secondly, it's also anticipation of what measures that might need to be put in place to mitigate this and how people are really going to adjust to that. So the discussion going around people generally is about this disease being present, what needs to be done to further mitigate the transmission of that in terms of healthy practices, social distancing, hand washing, increased hygiene, as well as how they're going to fend for themselves within the period of a lockdown, should that be instituted by government, especially considering the fact that Borno State has been so far devastated over the last 10 years by the effects of the insurgency, and livelihood has really become difficult.
All right, thank you, Commissioner for Health, Borno State there. Time to take a break on Panorama. More news when we return. Good to have you back. After 3 weeks of being in quarantine, the chairman of the Board of Management of the University College Hospital, Ibadan, Shetima Ibrahim Bako Bagudu, has tested negative to the coronavirus. 2 tests were carried out on him and both returned negative. With this, he now has a clean bill of health. In a statement by the public relations officer of the University College Hospital, Toye Akinridola, the chairman, Alhaji Shetima, has urged Nigerians to observe the guidelines laid down by the World Health Organization and the National Center for Disease Control. He thanked the UCH community for their support and encouragement during the trying period. About 100 returnees from Lagos and other states of the Federation to Adamawa State have been forcefully quarantined in a move to contain any possible outbreak of coronavirus in the state. Yusuf Jika reports that the state chairman of COVID-19 Containment Committee, Bashir Ahmed, gave the directive when he led members of the committee to monitor the level of compliance on the ban restricting interstate movement at the borders of Adamawa and Gombe states.
It could be recalled that Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintri of Adamawa State relaxed the lockdown order but restricted interstate movement to contain the spread of COVID-19 in the state. To ensure full compliance of the interstate movement, Chairman, State COVID-19 Containment Committee, Bashir Ahmad, was at the border community of Lafia to monitor the situation and found out that the restriction order is being violated as number of travelers have been trooping into the state. This, however, informed the committee's directive to impound all the vehicles and about 100 passengers be isolated in a facility provided for 14 days, in line with the guidelines issued by Governor Fintri. Reports gathered indicates that most of the returnees are factory workers from Lagos and Ogun states. Bashir Ahmad maintained that in any eventuality of the virus, the state is ready with far-reaching measures as local government chairmen are instructed to provide a facility that will be used as quarantine center. Also collaborating police spokesperson in Adamawa State, the SP Suleiman Roje, revealed that Commissioner of Police has directed Assistant Commissioners of Police and Divisional Police Officers to ensure full implementation of the restriction order as a special task force team was formed and will be headed by Deputy Commissioner of Police. In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the FCT Task Force on COVID-19 has arrested one Pastor Danjuma Ndakwasu in Kubwa, Abuja. This is following the pastor's continuous holding of church services in violation of the lockdown directive. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu reports.
Everybody should meet in their homes.
For 3 weeks running, since the COVID-19 lockdown was declared by President Muhammadu Buhari in the FCT, Pastor Danjuma Ndakwasa's church ran normal service on weekly basis without considering the danger his actions constitute to members and residents of the area alike.
My major issue is the 21 days, which did not just came up. It's a program that has been laid down there since December last year to be carried out this month. We didn't know that there would be a challenge like this.
The task force also arrested a Nigerian Army warrant officer for converting his private car into commercial to convey passengers against the lockdown rules. At the airport road, the task force intercepted this Ford saloon car without registration, license or exemption pass. The driver, however, tried to escape while being interrogated.
I can't go, I can't leave you people go. What's happening?
Very sad, the military team had also arrested him 2 days ago. He lied that all the passengers in the car were his family members, and today again, the military team took him away.
The mobile court stationed at Area 1 roundabout tried some lockdown violators with penalties ranging from jail sentences to impoundment of vehicles and fine options. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And on security, the Armed Forces of Nigeria says it will provide the minimum necessary force to support the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies to checkmate the nefarious activities of criminals during the lockdown. Correspondent Najato Tijani brings us details.
The Defense Media Operations DMO notes that other operations in support of COVID-19 prevention and control include covering the 21 designated isolation centers by all its formations, as well as the provision of 2 military laboratories to carry out tests for the coronavirus. These are the Defense Reference Laboratory in Abuja and the Nigerian Air Force Reference Laboratory in Lagos. The Nigerian military also says it is alert to intercept opportunistic criminal activities.
All criminally minded individuals are hereby warned to desist from disturbing the peace of other citizens of the country. Otherwise, they will be tackled appropriately in line with the principles of internal security operations and rules of engagement.
The DMO also cleared the air on a purported fake video concerning its operations.
Citing something that the security agencies or the military killed 18, which is not true.
It equally calls on the public to cooperate with law enforcement agents and not panic if increased presence of the military is noticed in their neighborhoods. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
And still on security, troops of Operation Lafia Dole have killed more than 100 Boko Haram insurgents in the ongoing final onslaught against terrorist groups in the northeast of Nigeria. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa, who is monitoring the operation in Yobe State, reports on how and where the troops made such breakthroughs.
All began with silent but progressive campaign and planning for final onslaught against Boko Haram terrorist group that have killed and displaced thousands of people in the northeast Nigeria. Different platforms and experts were mobilized, while the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, relocated to the front line for close supervision. In military campaign planning, having the right platform and personnel is necessary, but what ensure and enhance the success of the operation is troops' morale and commitment. With this poisonous chemistry and array of equipment, troops of Operation Lafia Dole started advancing towards the hideouts of their enemies, this time around final showdown. The troops recorded their first breakthrough with the arrest of these suspected Boko Haram members in Makintakuri in Kaga local government area of Borno State, following intelligence report. At one of the battleground, troops of Sector 2 Operation Lafia Dole displayed their gallantry by overpowering the insurgents, leading to the killing of 105 Boko Haram terrorists attempting to infiltrate Bunigari village, about 45 minutes drive from Damaturu, the Yobe State capital. The Chief of Army Staff, who is at the theater of operations, commended the troops for their bravery and charged them to do more. Anti-aircraft gun, 3 GMPG and hard drugs were recovered from the insurgents during the operation. Similarly, the Army Chief visited 2 wounded soldiers receiving treatment in Damaturu. From Buniyadi in Yobe State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And away from security now, the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Atiku Abubakar Bagudu, has joined other Nigerians to mourn and condole President Muhammadu Buhari over the death of his Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor on Media to Governor Bagudu, Yahya Sarki described the death as unfortunate. The statement also expressed the governor's sadness and heartfelt condolence to Abba Kyari's family and the entire nation. Meanwhile, Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State has expressed profound sadness over the death of the Chief of Staff to the President, Alhaji Abba Kyari, lamenting that the nation has lost a great patriot. In a statement, Masari condoled President Muhammadu Buhari and the immediate family of the deceased. Let's take a look at the weather for the day. And that's Panorama today. Many thanks for watching. Please continue to remain safe.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
The main way coronavirus spread is when infected people sneeze and cough. Small droplets of fluid expelled by cough or sneezes are laced with viruses looking for new respiratory tracts to infect. When a sick person sneezes around someone who is healthy, the virus can land in the nose, mouth, or even the eyes, causing an infection. Symptoms can include fever, cough, shortness of breath. Symptoms may appear within 2 to 14 days. Seek medical advice if you develop symptoms and have been in close contact with a person known to have COVID-19, or if you live or have recently been in an area with ongoing spread of COVID-19. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
I am Elizabeth Abad. I am here to talk about facts. There is so much misinformation and distortion out there, especially on the social media. All it takes is just a click and the fake news goes viral. However, here in NTA, we deal with facts.
My job is to go out there and comb for factual news and information, just the way it is, all in the interest of the nation. I'm Naja Atutijani.
Here on the NCA, we present only the facts, verified. Beware of fake news, don't be a victim. Stay tuned to the NCA.
Especially at this time of the coronavirus pandemic.
My name is Nnamdi Ojipo.
Well done.